That's sense, like you said, you don't know, but I'm very fortunate that I talked to
Yeah. Eat the best.
We're meeting much more fun and purposeful. The reason why we do this is.
Good evening, everybody. This time we'll go ahead. I want to say thank you for everybody that showed up. It's such a good thing to see all you young kids here. This is awesome.
Amen.
So we can see us all. This is wonderful. I want to welcome every one of you. This time I'll call our meeting to order and turn the floor over to you, Dr. Black.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, board. I'd like to say good evening to everybody that's here with us here at the Fannin County Board of Education office in Blue Ridge. And those folks who are watching us online as well, good evening to you too. We will begin. Our second item on the agenda is the invocation. And for that, I'm going to turn the floor over to Reverend Scott Mathis, who will lead us. If everybody would please stand.
Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Dear Lord, we just thank you so much for this day that you've given us, God, and just for the opportunity to be here tonight, God. We thank you for the opportunity to work for the Fannin County School System. What a great place this is to work, God, and you've let us all be involved with your children, God, to impact their lives and just to help to raise them, God, and we're so thankful for that, God. And I just pray that you'll be with this meeting tonight, God, be with our board members, and I just pray that you would give them the wisdom and the guidance in every decision that they need to make, Lord. And most of all, God, we thank you for Jesus and your Son, our Savior. And as we're in this Christmas season, God, and celebrating His birth, we just are so thankful for that, the greatest gift that was ever given to us. And we love you, God, and we just thank you for all the blessings that you give us each and every day. And we pray all these things in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Mathis. Our next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. And for that, we're going to have Dr. Scott Farstead, who's the Director of Fannin County Bands. He'll come forward and lead us in the pledge. Dr. Farstead.
I'm honored to lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dr. Farstead. You may be seated. Let's take just a moment, Dr. Farstead. We had some, nothing puts us in the Christmas spirit like some good music, and that was great to have some students come, ensemble students. Why don't you tell us a little bit about them?
Yes, I'm glad to do that. Thank you, Dr. Gwatney, for the invitation, and thank you, board, for allowing us to come and perform for you tonight. Our musicians that we have here is Lexi McGarris. If you'd stand up and I introduce you. Hannah Mashburn, Chloe Dewerfelt, Tanner Hamby, Will Watkins, Ethan Jolly, and Simone O'Neill. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you very much for letting us perform tonight.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. And the musicians, thank you so much. You just added to the Christmas spirit of the meeting, and we appreciate that so much. Thank you, Dr. Farstead. Okay, Mr. Chair, our next item on the agenda is to approve the consent agenda. It consists of two parts: to approve tonight's agenda and then to approve minutes of the last meeting. If you would go ahead, Mr. Inslee, and open those up and scroll through, give everybody a chance to look. Okay, thank you. Mr. Chair, I recommend items being passed on the consent agenda as presented.
Can the chair have that motion?
Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Okay, thank you. Okay, for special recognitions tonight, we're going to turn the floor over to Mr. Rude.
Thank you, Dr. Gwatney. We're going to have some really exciting things to talk about here when it comes to our career, technical, and agricultural education here at Fannin County. And that's CTAE for short, for anybody that doesn't know that. And I just want to say, first off, how proud I am of all these students and the specifics. We'll get to the specifics in a little bit. But I've been honored to get to see many of these students grow up from the time they were in elementary school And these are the kind of students that have taken advantage of every single opportunity that's been given to them and really have just worked so hard to be able to accomplish what they accomplished. I'm just really excited for them. And again, just honored to know them, really. And the other part is just the CTAE department at the middle school and high school, everything that goes into what they do and how hard the teachers work. I'm just excited to be able to advocate and support everything that they do. And one of the individuals that works so hard, and I'm really proud of how he's come into his role this year, is Mr. David Henson, our CTAE supervisor. He's just done an excellent job. So with that said, I'm going to turn the floor over to him, and he's going to explain what all we have going on here with TSA and well.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, Mr. Henson.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Rivers. Thank you, Dr. Watney and board for allowing me to come and to be able to brag on students. It's something that's not very difficult when you have the level of students and the participation and things that they're doing. So tonight, I know some of you have got a chance to see the electric car that was sitting out front, and some of you got to see it, make a lap or two. But I want to, brag on this group. The TSA, they actually went to a competition down in Jekyll Island in the fall and competed in what's called the Electrathon electric car race. They also competed in cardboard boat design, robotics, a number of things. But our electric car team placed first place in the state. They are your state champion electric car team competing against over 20 other cars from around the state. And so I'm going to introduce you to our team. Tyler Inslee is the driver. So if you'll stand up, Tyler. And he drove the car to victory. His pit crew, is Devin Carruthers, Luke Pelfrey, and James Kyle, if y'all will stand up. And then also as part of that, Rob Russell. Rob Russell has a dual role. I want to have Rob stand up because Rob is a link that I think our CTA programs are really taking advantage of. And I'll talk about that. Not only did they, and Bryce Ware, sorry, I didn't see you over there, missed you. But these are our competitors. Not only did they design, fabricate, test, engineer, come up with corrections, both pre-race, during the race, and have learned so much after it, are continuing to improve upon the design. But Rob is one of our welding students that helped them weld some of the components that gave them an advantage because they was able to correct some problems that they had found in the driving mechanism. So guys, congratulations. Y'all have done an outstanding job. In addition to that, I do want to say that this group also competed in the Statesman test. So not only are they engineering design students doing this, they have a Statesman test, which, it's their understanding of the Skills USA motto and just their presentation and persona. And as a result, they all passed the Statesman test, but special shout out to James Kyle, who made a perfect score on that Statesman test. And now I want to talk to you a little bit more about our welding program. On November 6th, our welding program went to a competition in Dallas, Georgia. Now, it was the North Georgia Welding Competition, and I'll go ahead and say this. When Mr. Flowers come and said, we're ready to go, they win. They got there and realized they're the only high school competing against technical schools, North Georgia Tech, against a number of trade schools, even a group of professional welders that come in. So with that as a prelude against this team of Robert Russell, he's the one who had mentioned there earlier, Thatcher McDarris, Chance Stacy, and Sawyer Moreland took second place, only losing to the Georgia Trade School, which is a school specializing in welding.
Wow.
In addition to that, and this is where I want to brag on Mr. Flowers and the instructional methods and the manner by which he is teaching these teams. This class is only in the metals class. They are yet to take the welding class, which is next semester. They're learning at this level. So that's a hats off to Mr. Flowers. And then in addition to that, Levi Pierce, Dawson Ross, Brooklyn Henderson, who is also here with us, and Blake Lefford took third place. Now, that's another unique team, especially with Brooke, who has not even been in the pathway. But she comes every day during flex to learn how to do that on her own, and he has continued to show her. So again, opportunities that these teachers are giving our students to learn skills that the students want to be a part of and want to learn in. And she placed, part of that third place team. She's a sophomore. She has not taken any of the classes, but she plans on. Blake Ledford is also here, and he was on the third place team. But here's the thing about Blake. Blake won first place overall in the individual competition against professional welders, against other trade schools. And that just shows, again, how much this program has grown in a very short period of time, and how much our students have really invested in the learning process. But I will say it also goes a long way into saying how much Mr. Flowers has invested in these students. And so him and Mr. Gibbs, who was part of the engineering, and them working together and collaborating, has been able to promote not only their individual programs, but each other's programs. Instead of competing against each other, they're working together for the benefit of all of our students. And I can't say enough about our teachers, our students, and what they are doing. And so I want to say thank you for allowing us to come and celebrate these students and what they've found is success in a field that they absolutely love. And it's because of you, board, and Dr. Watney, and your desire to see opportunities for them. So thank you.
That's great. It just seems like no time ago we were approving the actions required to get us a welcome program back to Fannin County High School CTAE program, and we're so thankful for that and the success of these students. TSA has had a history of success here at the school, and welding as a new program is immediately showing success. And to see the two working together to even have a first place state level car is just it's phenomenal. So very proud of you students. Mr. Flowers, we're proud of you, and Mr. Henson and Mr. Rue, proud of the success of this program. I know Dr. Range is certainly proud of it as well. And so I'd like for all of you to come up to the front, and we're going to take a photograph of you with the Board of Education. So come on up. You might have to go back a road. Uh-oh, careful.
Come on now.
All right, let's give these students a round of applause. I'm going to keep the board up here for just a moment.
Keep the board.
And, board, if you just step down a step. And I'm going to ask the directors, if the directors will come up here and be on the stage. Directors, come on.
Stay back, go back.
I should have stayed on time.
I'll tell you what. Can I get you right there? Before I do, it came. Awesome. Yeah. And so what we have here, folks, this is an incredible honor. And this is the result of a great deal of hard work during the past year. The reason that all the directors are up here is because what we've got right here is a Georgia School Boards Association Exemplary School Board. And they have earned this. And I'm so proud of the desire for this board to be exemplary. This is going above and beyond. This is going to the retreats and planning and all the activities where they come together and they plan. They come together and they go out and tour the property. They come out and visit the schools. And they're actively engaged in making this the best school district that it can be. That's a lot of work. And that work is recognized by the Georgia School Boards Association. This is their highest honor for a school board. And I'm extremely proud tonight to present this to Chairman Chad Galloway, the 2021 Georgia School Boards Association Exemplary Board Award. All right, I think Scotty's. All right, now, we'll see if Heather takes good pictures, Scotty.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. And I've asked all the directors to be up here because it is a great deal of work for each of them and their departments to coordinate these endeavors. So let's give our directors a round of and we will. Yeah. Right there.
I'm gonna have to figure that. It's Ricky.
I'll tell you, we've had music, we've seen the success of kids, we've had kids at our meeting. It looks like Christmas morning. We're off to a great start. Okay, let's go ahead and go to our next item on the agenda, which is number 7, School Governance Team Update, Deputy Superintendent Sarah Reed.
Good evening, Board. The SGTs were very busy last month meeting. You can check on our report here that we do every single month to see what they have approved with fundraisers, field trips, and facility use requests. Also notable work that they have done over the last month. Of course, a lot of exciting things happening at all of our schools. Of course, at EFES, we did have a, like every school has reviewed their dress code this year. That's something that you have allowed the actual SGT to be in charge of that policy. We do delegate that authority to the SGT. So they have been taking that up. They've been looking at fall data. There's been a lot of work on STEM at the elementary schools and also at the middle school this year, which is extremely exciting. All of the schools are trying their best to keep the SGTs updated with changes in their schools, like personnel changes, things like that. Exciting things happening with fall sports. Of course, Ms. York is going to be sharing with us more information about that in just a few minutes. Keep scrolling, please, Mr. Inslee. Just lots of good things that are happening all around. High school had a great meeting last month, had a lot of information provided by both Mr. Henson and also Dr. Ramsey, and Ms. York also spoke with them. And so all of the schools have been extremely busy. Blue Ridge does not have an SGT meeting in November. That was the only school that did not have one last month. So does anyone have any questions about the work of the SGTs? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Reed. Okay, our next item on the agenda is school happenings, and for that, we're going to invite Allison Danner, principal of West Fannin Elementary School, up to present. Good evening, Ms. Danner.
Good evening. I do have to say that it's very exciting to know that you're going to present when you look and the students that you see that are being so successful were in one of the first groups that were introduced to STEM at West Fannin when Mr. Inslee was principal, because I think out of that we had 4 students here tonight, or 5. We have Blake, Rob, Tyler, and Luke. So that's amazing, because that was in the first group that came through when we first started implementing STEM, so that's amazing. All right, so anyway, on to West Fannin. Our focus this year was to have fun in 21. We're really looking at the fish philosophy modeled after the Pike Fish Market in Seattle. And it's aimed at creating happy individuals in the schools by focusing on 4 key elements: being there, being present, making sure that people know that we're there listening to them, introducing play, choosing our attitudes, and then simply making each person's day. I want to say a special shout out to Mr. Bearden as I asked him if he could create a yellow jacket for us, as we had an empty location in our school that needed a little bit of a facelift. So this is a Bobby Bearden special. Thank you for that. At West Fannin, we have many new staff members this year. We're looking at 12. We were very excited that Ms. Decubellis was able to come back to us, returning from the high school. We had several parapros that have moved into teaching positions. Miss Brittany Young was a parapro for us last year. She's now in pre-K. Miss Sheila Fowler started out in 3rd grade and has moved to special ed. Miss Nancy Custer was originally hired as a parapro, and now she's teaching 3rd grade for us. Miss Alicia Ball was a teacher at West, came back to us as a parapro, and now is back in a teaching position. Miss Alejandra Mills was the ESOL parent liaison, and now she's back serving as an ESOL teacher for our students. We're so excited about her being there. And then we have several new faces. We have Miss Kelsey Patterson, Michelle Jones, Stephanie Fink, Chrissy Struthers, and then we have some that are new to us and new roles. We have Miss Misty Kincaid, who unfortunately, she started with us in August, and now she will be leaving us at the end of December as her family's moving to Alaska. So we wish them well on their trip, but we're certainly going to miss her. And then one of our teachers that retired last year, but we're very fortunate that we were able to bring her back on as a contract interventionist, Miss Kim Patterson. So lots of new faces. The first thing that we want to do is make sure that our students know that we are there for them, paying attention to others and being there for them. What better way for us to model this with our students than having the heroes from our community come in and speak and be engaged with our students? Our honor guard comes in and works with our 5th grade students and teaching them flag etiquette. If you can look at this picture, you can see how intently the students are listening and taking in what these individuals are saying. It was amazing to watch their interaction. Fannin County Fire Department came out and spoke with our students about fire safety. The students were all very excited about Sparky. The 4-H program does an amazing job with both our 4th and 5th grade. That is a huge asset to West Fannin, and they just help promote their motto to make the best better. As you can see here, the students are working on their elections for different seats for class officers. One of the biggest events that we have throughout the year is Veterans Day, and definitely the most emotional. We were fortunate to have Miss Courtney Crane speak with us, and then we had a family that had recently lost a father and spouse to COVID, and what an honor it was to have their family light the blue candle in memory of their father and spouse. So that was huge and a very emotional day. We want our kids to understand that they too can serve and help people in different areas of needs. So they work and collect the pop tabs for the 4-H and the Ronald McDonald House. We also want them to know that they can play and have fun when it's appropriate. One of the biggest, most exciting days is our Water Day, and that's a PBIS, the positive behavior support that we do so that the kids get rewarded for their good behavior. That was the first thing that we had at the school where we were able to invite parents back in. So that was just, you could see the looks on the kids' faces. They were loving it. We're back to offering field trips for students to be able to engage outside of the classroom. We want to give a shout out to our official sponsors of the year that sponsored the t-shirts for students to wear as they go on those field trips to be easily recognized. This is our pre-K as they went to BJ Reese Orchards in LJ. Family movie night was huge. This was an event that Miss Shannon Shofie, our parent liaison, had coordinated and planned. We had to reschedule it 3 times due to weather, but our PTO invested in an inflatable movie screen, and because we have the facilities that we do, we're able to have that on our football field, and it was a huge, huge success. As you can see, big turnout, and hopefully that will become an annual event. This was Red Ribbon Week, where students were learning about being drug-free and safe. We have Pajama Day, Superhero, Crazy Hair, and Wear Red, where they all got to participate. Another fun event for them. I think this one is probably the ones the parents most have enjoyed and being back in the schools. As you can see here, they went full scale on implementing their themes for Trunk or Treat. We have Mario, Star Wars, Willy Wonka, and then of course another Mario, but they went full scale, and it was amazing to watch the kids' faces, and not only them, but to see the parents and how excited they were to be back. Here are just some of the smiles that we saw that day. Huge success, lots of candy. We had a family fun night, and correlation with our book fair, where students came in and they completed 4 tasks, whether that be math or literacy. After they completed the task, we had prizes for them, and they took their little leaf after they had that on there, and their name was on the wheel, and they could spin for a prize. Another huge turnout. I think the parents are just excited that they're actually able to get back in the buildings. We want to make sure that we're making their day, doing something nice for someone. When our students are behaving and being courteous and being respectful, we want to make sure that we recognize them. So we always recognize our character ed winners, and that goes for both staff and students. And this year we've initiated the Yellow Jacket Cafe, where teachers can recognize or select 2 students for their classroom who are just showing the character traits that we expect from them, and they're recognized and get to eat on the stage with a special treat and just get to a moment to shine in front of their peers. This is something that's been very successful, and then we do a slide video so that the parents can hear what the teachers have to say about their students. The Bravo Biscuit Breakfast, we want to recognize those students that go above and beyond just what we expect for them in the classroom, but this was students that went to and participated in the Fannin County Library program all summer long, so we thought that they needed to be recognized for going a little bit above and beyond. Our cafeteria staff is amazing, and they're always looking for ways that they can encourage students to participate in school lunch or school breakfast. This is one of the things that they did for School Lunch Week, where students receive prizes for eating on particular days. Thanksgiving meals was a huge success. One of the things when I interviewed for the principal's position at West Fannin was I was asked if I would dress up for the students or with the students. And since then, we have been charged and we dress up pretty regularly at West Fannin. We had a parent ask if we would be turkeys, so there we are in our turkey costumes. Thanksgiving was huge success. We were able to feed all of our students and parents in one day. Big event, but it was great to see all the families engaged and enjoying being back again in the buildings. We want to make sure that we choose our attitudes daily. PBIS, these students choose to show good behavior daily, and so we want to make sure that we recognize them. Again, they go in for a drawing and they get prizes, random. Their names go in for a wheel. If they've not had an office referral, then we spin the wheel and they're recognized in the cafeteria, again in front of their classmates and peers. Our students are engaged in using the different scientific tools within the classroom, and then they were researching those, studying, and presenting them to the class in a game format. All the different robotics that are currently being used in the STEM lab. We have the WeDo robots. This one is really interesting, is that the kids used a space rover and programmed him to detect a new plant species using sensors. So that one's pretty cool. The B-bots for pre-K and kindergarten. And then we have 4th grade and I think that maybe 3rd using the Dash robots. So just all the different robotics. We also had Dot Day, where we had Miss Jennifer Danner come out and work with our students about the book Dot Day. They also did a Zoom event with Peter Reynolds, which is the author of the Dot Day book. Students created their own individual Dot Day shirts, and that's just encouraging them to recognize everybody's unique qualities and to shine in their own way. With our field trips, we want to make sure that even though they are fun, that we're incorporating our academics. Miss Good and Miss Pace had received information that there was a stream in LJ that might not be as clean as the stream at West Fannin, so they took it upon themselves to do a field trip to that stream. They did find, as the students did the water testing on it, that it was maybe a little cleaner. It was pretty comparable to what the one is at West Fannin, but they were very excited to find a water penny, because that's one of the macroinvertebrates that is so difficult to find, and they found 4, so they were excited about that. Our Charlie cart, which we bought with our SPLOST funds last year, Our fourth grade is really putting it to use. They read the story Love Amelia. It's one of their bookworms books. They then incorporated, in the book they talked about eating flan. So they found the recipe for flan and they used math to be able to multiply the ingredients to make enough flan for the whole fourth grade. And so they used the Charlie cart to make the flan. And this week they made Christmas cookies. And then we have Dr. Line back working with investigative research with our fourth graders, which is very exciting. We're glad that she's back and doing the things that she's doing with them. And then finally, we have our Spliced in Action. We are very fortunate with all the things that we've received with Spliced. We have the new countertops. Our teachers have been asking for countertops for a while. They were very excited about those. We have an awning that is extending from the cafeteria down to the STEM lab. So now our students can actually pretty much walk all the way around the campus and remain dry because of all the awnings. We have the new gates that are at both ends of the bus pad, so we can keep those closed as students walk back and forth across the bus pad to the playground, just providing that safety. And then we were able to get new flooring in our game bathrooms on the kindergarten and third grade hallway. So those are a few of the things that have been going on at West Fannin, and I thank you for taking letting me have the opportunity to share with you guys. Do you have any questions?
We appreciate the presentation. Thank you. All right. Okay, Mr. Chair, our next item is district health update. Mr. Root.
Good evening again, board. Now I will bring you the exciting district health update that you always look forward to so much. But we have been in contact this week, yesterday as a matter of fact, with leadership from Fannin Regional Hospital. And right now, Fannin Regional luckily is still functioning full-fledged. All of the procedures that they normally do, they're functioning in that manner, inpatient and outpatient. The COVID-19 cases that they've seen recently at our local hospital, we don't really have you can't predict why this is the case, but they've been mild to moderate, the cases that have come through recently. So that's very, very fortunate. Obviously, just like we've said from the beginning, it's always day by day, and I could stand here right now and say this, and by next week it could be a different story. But right now, in Fannin County and in the school system, with our school system data, we're very blessed when it comes to what's currently going on right now with COVID-19.
I heard it in Allison's presentation, the energy and the happiness to be back in the school and having events more like we did 2 years ago. So we're thankful to see this decline, especially from last August, September.
And Mr. Inslee showing you again, we try not to focus on the bars, on the spikes. We try to focus on the 7-day average, and if you run that across, our 7-day average right now is four cases per day for the 7-day average. So
and that's for the entire county.
For the entire county, not for the school system, the entire county. And that's again, that's a good number, something to be thankful for.
Yes, it is. So, all right, Mr. Root, thank you so much. Board, do you have any questions? Okay. All right. The next we happy to bring to the podium for the first time is our athletic director, Shannon York. She's here to share an extracurricular update with us.
And I'm very happy to be here. So thanks for inviting me. Thank you, Dr. Gwadney, and thank you, board, for letting me be here tonight. I feel like I have a whole county full of cheerleaders, rooting for us. And Dr. Ramsey is one of my biggest cheerleaders, and he has supported and given me, trying to make me fly, and I'm always, going back on, but what about this? But what about this? So great support for me, and I'm really thankful to be here and to be in this position. I really feel like that having the opportunity that all of our kids do in athletics and extracurriculars over the years. I know I had a conversation with you several years ago, Mr. DeWeese, about extracurriculars and the incredible job that Fannin County has done in preserving extracurriculars for all of our students, not just our athletes. If we didn't have our FFA, if we didn't have our TSA, all those things that keeps kids going and keeps them excited to be there, not just the sports, and it's just an incredible place for our kids to be, and I'm thankful that my kids are here for sure. In athletics, that gives a ton of our students, a huge percentage of our students, an opportunity to participate, and not just to participate, but to belong to a team, to belong to a group of people, a small group that they're responsible for, even smaller sometimes than their classrooms or their teachers. It gives them the opportunity to achieve. It gives them an opportunity to win, and it gives them an opportunity to learn, to lose. And that losing builds character, even better than winning does. And so athletics is a great platform to be able to do that. And we have I know there are communities similar to ours, but ours is unique in that when we have any ball game or any sort of anything, people are going to show up and they're going to cheer people on. And I'm super proud of all of our athletes and all of our coaches. And for me to get to come into the position with such a great coaching staff already established, I feel super blessed. So we'll start out with softball and their spring sports. We had 3 seniors, and they're coached by Morgan Helton and assisted by Catherine Mancuso and Jordan Deal. So those ladies did an excellent job with all of our girls, and they were one teeny tiny game away from making the state playoffs. And that was much improved over the next year, I believe. So we're super proud of them. We did have a few athletes to make the second team all-region, and that's Riley Davis, who's a senior, and Jaden Bailey, who's a sophomore. And honorable mentions from Zoe Putnam and Natalie Harrington. I believe Natalie is a freshman, and she is a freshman pitcher. And if you haven't seen her compete in the softball game, you're missing out. All of these ladies. So they're fun to watch. Our volleyball team, I have a special affiliation with the one on the bottom right. I raised her, and I think she's pretty grand. But our volleyball girls finished 4th in region and made a state appearance where they went down and played Lovett. And we walked into the gym at Lovett, and our girls were intimidated but still went in to play. And they had a junior that has already committed to Kentucky. So that was a quick match. But we went, we competed, and we had a good time. We had some all-region players. We had Kaylee Kendall, who's a senior, and Reagan York. So we were super proud of all those girls. I talked about community earlier. These are some of our JV girls on the bottom right, our whole team for Pink Out. In the middle there, that's our high school girls going to watch our middle school girls play. And our middle school coach and high school coach, our coaches do an incredible job trying to include and make a good inclusive program from middle school all the way up to high school. And I'm super tickled that Mr. Rosenberger at the middle school is the athletic liaison now, and he and I have worked really closely together along with Mr. Young and Dr. Ramsey, trying to make everything as smooth as we can. So it's nice to see those high school girls going back, and they do it for basketball too. The boys and girls always go back and watch the middle school, and it's nice to watch the middle school kids get excited and a little bit giddy when they see the big kids there watching them. Some of our volleyball players work to put together chemotherapy care packages. That's very important to let those kids, just like Miss Danner was talking about her kids giving back with the Pop-Tops and all that. It keeps going, you guys, and that does more for the kids. That does more for us humans that give than it does the ones that receive. So that's great. Super proud. My very first experience with one act play, we went to Model High School and watched them compete, and they were just incredible. Our thespian officers also attended a conference in Houston County in September. They did a performance of that before they left to compete in one act in the play at Model. They had their very first dance showcase a couple weekends ago, along with their performances. We had a couple students in that one act competition. I'm bouncing back and forth, but we had 2 members from Fannin County make the all-star cast, and that's McKenna Hill and Tate Plummer. They are the 2. If you see the red sweater in the middle, 2 over, and the blue sweatshirt and the black, those are our 2 students that were on the all-star cast. These were their productions that they did a couple weeks ago with their drama classes. that's not just the one act club, that's their drama classes as well, their dance performance, and Peter Pan and Wendy and Junie B. Jones, and those were just wonderful too, so those are fun to get to watch. Our cross-country girls really showed out this year, and I intend that they will show out next year as well. They finished 10th in state. They were 7AA region champions, and Carly Holloway made the all-region team, and she also finished 22nd in state. And that is just incredible when they go down to Carrollton, and there are all the runners all day long from, single A, double A, triple A, quad, all the way up, and just to see that big environment and to see our kids doing so excellent is just fun. Just fun. Lindsay Holloway also made the all-region team, and she trails on the heels of her sister at every meet, and they do a great job of keeping up with their personal records, not just those two, but the whole team. And they've got a good support system behind them, and their parents and their coaches, and Coach Pass and Mike Cosentino, he volunteers. They are just incredible and motivating and awesome. Our boys, we have an incredible boys team as well. They finished 2nd place in region and 8th place in state, which is a huge accomplishment. To make the all-region team was Gavin Davis and Zachariah Prater, and Zachariah also finished 24th in state, so that's a pretty big deal for sure. Here are our cheerleaders. They've done an awesome job. I love, particularly, I couldn't leave this picture out on the bottom right. In the 4th quarter, our band will go down and stand in front of our Blue Crew student section, and our cheerleaders come down, and they just have the best time, and I feel like I had the best seat in the house for that, standing on the sideline watching all of those students all come together and have all that fun. So, They attended UCA camp where they earned 2nd place in dance and 3rd place in cheer. And a few of our student athletes made the All-American UCA cheer squad: Madison Denton, Madison Ponton, and Bree Art, and Erin Gonzalez. Our football, this is a lot of fun this year and a lot of excitement for me. And I have to say, as a former athlete who loved to compete, who got in there and was pretty rough and aggressive, standing on the sideline of a football game is a different experience for me, because while I want us to win, I don't want anybody to get hurt, so I'm always standing there going. But that was just incredible to ride with them this year. They were 7AA region champions 2 years in a row. They finished as region champions this year. They went to Sweet 16 in the state and had an incredible season of 10 wins and 2 losses. We're super proud of our football team, Coach Cheatham and all of his staff. This is a ton of awards for Region 7A football. Seth Reese, he committed yesterday to Army West Point, so we're super proud of him and all of his accomplishments. He is the 7AA Player of the Year. I'll let you read all of the yards and all the touchdowns and all the points that he has accomplished, which is just incredible. He, of course, could not have done that without his team. And so if you look at the first team offense, we have Hayden Lynch, Dylan Collins, Ricardo Arianes, and second team defense, Kason Owensby, Andrew Waldrop, Carter Mann, and Logan Long. Special teams first team, Jack Kapner as the punter and kicker, and second team offense, Cade Sands, and second team defense, Corbin Davenport on defensive back. We had several honorable mentions too: Sawyer Moreland, Austin Garland, Carson Collis, David Mashburn, Taylor Collis, Jeremy Tamman, Bryson Holloway, Nate Maloof. Super proud of all those kids. And these are not picked by me. They're not picked by Dr. Ramsey. They're picked by the 7AA football coaches. So they had that much confidence in all of our athletes. And we didn't have, we had Seth, but we have a great team. And the evidence is right there. All of those other coaches picked all of those kids for those special recognitions, so we're super proud. Our wrestling team is up and going, and they're coming off their state championship last year. Their next matches, it takes a minute for them to get going once football's over with, since football got to go so far. That kind of pushes wrestling back just a little bit. They have some upcoming matches in North Forsyth and the Devil Duels and the Hook'em Holiday Classic. So I look forward to great things from them, and all that Coach Patterson and Coach Collis and all they're working with those athletes just wonderfully. Our basketball girls, they are currently ranked 3rd in state, and my daughter informed me that their ranking changed, and we didn't get to finish and see what that's changed to. And they can be ranked by so many people, so if I didn't have the real details that I saw written down by myself, I'm not reporting it. They were the champions of the ETC Piedmont Mountainside Tournament that we hosted. It was the first year, so big year for me as an athletic director. We hosted 2 playoff games 2 weeks in a row, and that is very taxing. And then we turned around on Saturday and hosted the ETC tournament, and that takes a massive amount of coordination. And I'm so thankful for our staff that will show up on their Thanksgiving week and work the gate for us, and the parent volunteers that will work the concessions for us. So I'm super proud. Our boys are so fun to watch, our boys basketball. I love watching. They have the most hustly press I've ever seen. If you get a chance to come watch them, I love watching them. They beat Copper Basin in the ETC tournament, and we opened region play last week against Model, and they were leading most of the game and just ran out of gas at the end. We didn't win that game. Model was last year's region champ, so it was a big game for our boys. So to see them come back and do so well against Model, I was super proud. And we beat Union last week, so that's nice to always spank somebody who's up the road from us. I love them. I love CT. I love all of them, and I'm half Union Countyan. My dad's from there, but they're always fun to beat. So we had Seth sign at West Point, or Army West Point, and now we have Becca, who signed at the University of West Georgia. And my kiddo has always played with Becca, and we were so tickled for her when she signed just a few weeks ago. So we're excited to watch her just get to play hard and focus on playing this season, and then get to watch her next year at West Georgia. So very proud of her. This year is the first year that our basketball teams were invited to the big FCA Media Day that they have over in Gainesville at one of the big church over there. So that was a neat experience for 4 of our seniors, and Coach Richardson and Coach Chastain. They enjoyed that. I wanted to show you these pictures of our Blue Crew. Our Blue Crew is our student section, and week in and week out, those kids planned very strategically. They had the plan before August came of what each theme was going to be each week, and they had the best time with that. And to see, that's our band standing in front of our cheer section again, our Blue Crew again. I'm super proud of them, and I believe that we have the best community, and if we allow these kids to have the fun and to cheer and be somewhere like a football game on Friday night or a basketball game on a Tuesday night, they're not sitting in the Home Depot parking lot, and they're not finding somewhere to ride on Frog, whatever it is that they want to go to. So I'm so thankful that we have things like this and places like this that they can go and enjoy and be in the presence of other adults, other positive people. So another fun thing for me this year as a first-year athletic director was the reclassification and region alignment. For now, these are the teams that are in our region, 7AA. We stayed in 7AA. And I know you guys probably are familiar. A couple years ago, we went through the same process, and you understand that our number of students are what determines our classification. And then they put us in 8AA to start with. So Dr. Ramsey and I, stretched and worked out and went down to Thomaston and pleaded that they move us from going across Blood Mountain and on down to the Athens area to coming back to 7AA, which is kind of going down the 4-lane and taking a right, pretty much. So these are our current teams. On January 10th, they will meet again to finalize all that, and my little typo with that capital I in there is bugging me right there. Call attention to that. So I hope it stays the way it is, but who knows? We welcome anybody, and good competition and good fun. So that's how it is now, and we'll keep you updated when they make the final changes and adjustments in January. I think GHSA did something different this year they haven't done before, and combined the single A private and public, and they did the where they count the kids that are out of region twice, so that bumps their numbers up, so that people that can recruit and get people, better athletes into their city schools or whatever, they tried to level the playing field, and then they redid again. So all the football coaches, all the volleyball coaches, everybody's chomping at the bit to get their schedule done, and nobody can do anything until mid-January when everything is final. Coming up soon, we have our pictures, our big wrestling state champion picture and our basketball state runner-up pictures, all those big ones that are in the gym. Those will be going up soon, and our banners will be updated. Something new we did this year is, I think everybody wanted basketball season passes, so we got basketball season passes. Cross country starting a booster club, and we are beginning to look and kind of update and revamp our athletic handbook to make that, stronger and fuller and just more applicable, and make it match what we really want to do and what we want to achieve as an athletic department. So far, we have served 300 student athletes, and we have honored 60 seniors pretty much. So we're so proud that we have such participation, that there's such ample opportunity for these kids, and that we get to honor them, and that they get to participate. So I'm glad we're in school. I'm glad I get to be here, and I'm glad I didn't get any batteries thrown at me.
What was it, Mr. Banner?
17 and counting.
No. I was waiting on the battery. I'm sorry. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Nice presentation.
Comment. Just want to say thank you for the care that I saw you take with the Pickens girl when she got hurt. You had to get her bags. It's something my wife pointed out while we were sitting there. I was watching, but she pointed it out, and so that the care that you took care of, that's important to me as a parent. So thank you.
Sorry for the 17 minutes.
Anybody else? Thank you, Ms. Warden.
I truly took you literal about the battery there.
Okay, our next item on the agenda, Mr. Chair, is transportation. Mr. Foster.
Hey, good evening, board.
Good evening.
I want to come to you usually every December. We have a transportation update, so I wanted to come to you tonight and present this. This is just some facts about what we're doing. We transport an average of 1,200 students daily. We have 31 regular education routes, 7 special needs, and 1 alternative school route. What you're seeing to the right there is part of our mapping program, and it kind of shows you where our buses are sitting at this particular moment in time when this was taken. So we're going to go back to the beginning of school. We established a new traffic pattern at West Fannin. We did this previous year with Blue Ridge, and it worked out really well, where we line the buses up, and it gives us the ability to, it gives the principals the ability to walk, side by side or down each end to end and see everybody underneath, in case there's somebody underneath or between the buses, they can easily see them and spot them rather than have buses all over the pad. So it's really worked out awesome. We did this today on our White Christmases as well, and it worked out really well. Very safe and efficient. We love our bus drivers. We can't do it without them. They do an awesome job. This is a breakfast that we prepared in the shop for them during October. They really enjoyed it. I'm sad that I don't have any photos. Mr. Cole and his wife provided breakfast for them at the start of school, and it was a great event as well. They really enjoy these type things. We do an end of the year cookout for them. We have a Thanksgiving meal. It's all about the camaraderie and bus drivers, and we're like a big family at the transportation. So this slide kind of relates to Travel Tracker, and it kind of refers really a lot back to what Ms. York and Ms. Danner had given in their presentation. student athletes and our children, they ride our buses to field trips and whatnot. And we have purchased this software, and it's really helped us nail down a lot of the data that to show how many field trips we actually run. Right now, currently in the system, there's 891 trips submitted, and we've completed 487 of those trips as of November the 30th. One thing to remember here is that, like yesterday, we were at Lake Lanier Islands. We took 4 buses. That's one trip, but there's 4 buses. So there's a lot of travel involved in what we do, and that's what we do. So we keep the wheels on the bus rolling. Our training division, which is Tommy Jordan's over that. This is kind of what's happened since the beginning of school. We've been at the schools to help assist with parents with routing information during open houses. We've got 4 drivers that are currently in training. We've trained multiple school employees on our white activity buses. Those are the 14-passenger buses that do not require CDL, so that if we have a coach that has a golf team or something that's less than 14, they have the ability to take those students themselves, and that way it keeps us from having a bus driver taking off of a route. Mr. Jordan's assisted in all aspects of the data entry for the Synovia Here Comes the Bus project. He's been very instrumental in making that happen. He's trained administrators from schools on accessing, processing video surveillance from buses so that the principals and APs at the school have the ability to access that video directly instead of having to call the bus garage, we have to pull it and then upload it. So it provides them easier, faster access to the information as they need it. And he's currently working. Actually, he went 2 days ago to the Pioneer RESA and got recertified as a new or a renewal for his driver training course. And part of that is included now is the new federally mandated entry-level driver training. That'll take place or start February the 7th, so that anyone that is trained after that date will have to be trained under the new curriculum, and that was delivered to us this week, and we're working hard to make sure that we put that in place and get everybody compliant if they need to be. I love this picture. It's awesome. Anybody that knows me knows that I just adore anything that's old, antique. And of course, it wasn't antique when the picture was taken, but that's a long time ago. And that really, I think, represents where we come from. Our fleet info, our newest units of 2022 that we have on the road. Oldest is a 2006. We've got 60 units total in service. We have 17 international school buses, 43 Thomas-built buses. 48 of our buses are air conditioned, which is every route bus, regular route bus. 26 are Wi-Fi equipped, and we have the 2 white activity buses. So we have quite a fleet of vehicles. This slide alludes to what we have to do to make sure that our vehicles are safe. They have to go across our inspection process every 20 days. And then annually, we have the state of Georgia come out and they provide the Motor Carrier Compliance Division, supplies us with inspectors, and they go through them from top to bottom, which we just completed. We had 60 units inspected. We had a total number of defects, 18. And what a defect is, it could be a tear in the seat or a dome light bulb out, something very minor. And actually, we had 4 taken out of service this time. Of the 4, though, 2 of them weren't in service. So and actually, I'll be coming to you to surplus one of those buses probably next month. So, but they were on the state inventory. Anything's on state inventory has to be inspected. So, and despite our challenges, we still maintain the ASE Blue Seal of Excellence through ASE, Automotive Service Excellence, and we're currently only 3 school systems in the state of Georgia have been awarded this Blue Seal of Excellence. And I sat on the state spec committee, one of the technical positions on that state spec committee, and we've been working hard on that as well, and we'll have some new information out. Right now, the newest thing is electric buses, and really not a whole lot of folks knows much about electric buses. So we've had to weed through quite a bit of information, and it's very interesting. Give you a quick update here on Here Comes the Bus. At the time that this presentation was put together, we had 106 users signed up for the app. Reached out to several of the parents that are on there, and they absolutely love it. The information has been provided through social media via our technology department. They've done a great job. Mary Ann and Heather are getting those flyers up on our web pages, and as well as our local media. You know, the News Observer, they've done a front page article with Here Comes the Bus. So we thank everybody that was involved in making that a success. And that's all I have for you this evening. You have any questions? Ford? Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Pollard. Mr. Danner, any public comment?
No, sorry.
Okay, the next item is number 13, facilities update.
Before I do facilities real quick, Miss Molly from News Observer actually coached her at Copper Basin. She's one of my basketball players. That's what everybody's talking about, everybody. So.
You didn't coach Molly, you coached You did not coach.
Oh my God, her mom. Anyway,
You're only as old as you feel.
Coach her mom.
Somebody go get him a cup of coffee.
When Allison put that turkey thing up there, she wears it about 3 times a night. She wears it all the time. Anyway, hey, facilities update.
Just do your update.
That's good advice. It's been a long time. Go ahead, Mr. Jason. This lady scrolled through. This is Fannin Elementary. This tree, April can tell you, it's been a nuisance for a very long time. Our neighbors actually asked me for several years to get it cut. So finally, it's getting into the power lines. Tri-State actually come and dropped it for me and left a complete mess. And so we got all that. But again, they done me a great favor. So again, we got it cleaned up. And so again, that's the finished product there at Blue Ridge. Next picture is Danny started this several years ago, bush hogging around the exterior of our campuses. What you see there is at West Fannin. And so again, I continue this as well because it helps the whole situation. Of course, this is at East Fannin, and nah, you're good. This is at the middle school. Middle school, there's really not much to show because it's pretty much around the football field and everything, but the fence and all. The ag facility, again, you know, we do that once a year. I might even start doing that twice a year so it doesn't get as bad as it used to. But again, you know, we got the creek banks cleaned up last year, and so again, all that's at that. That's at West. Again, a huge thing at West. Our property manager at next door, he has started baling hay out there. And this picture that shows you how big that tree was there at Blue Ridge. I tried to just throw my foot down there to show you the reference of it. So the base of it's that big around, and the limbs were actually about half that size. And those limbs, it took three 30-yard dumpsters to get rid of that tree at Blue Ridge. This is at the high school, a new chemistry chemical cabinet there in the chemistry lab. So again, that got completed during the break as well. So that's our facilities update.
Thank you, Mr. Danner. Any questions on the facilities update or anything else related to any of Mr. Danner's commentary? Okay. Construction update, Mr. Danner.
Construction update, again, these are a couple weeks old. So again, I'll just take you scroll through there. That's the back of transportation. That's the corner headed towards the Staff Development Center. I had to put those pictures in. That's going to be our new restrooms at the Staff Development Center. We have 2 that actually work there. And, anyway, that's power going in there at the transportation. Tri-State come and done that 3 weeks ago. That's at the fueling station. The tanks are in. And actually, the posts are in for the canopy there at the fueling station. They installed those actually yesterday. And so we have a couple pictures there, tri-state. And that's where the heating unit's going to go. Go ahead, Richard. So again, these are old. We were just out there this week, and it doesn't look anything like this anymore. Sheetrock's been put up. All that's at transportation. Doors started being installed today at transportation. Windows are being installed at Staff Development Center, and so again, it's coming along very nicely. Big time. They started actually painting the ethos today, which is up there where that yellow is now. So it's already, again, it's taking shape.
All right, any questions on the construction update?
It's a quick comment. It's wonderful to see them taking advantage of this unusually warm weather for December. They were still doing masonry work under lights when I came in for the meeting tonight.
We had an OAC meeting yesterday. Had a concern about some excess dirt. We come to a conclusion yesterday evening. They were moving dirt today, so it's going on very nicely.
Okay, now we need some cameras and equipment for that facility.
Yeah, this is, I received 3 quotes per our policy DJED, and the low quote on each facility is going to go to ETC. This first one here is the transportation facility. Notice that amount is only $23,215.71. That's for transportation site only. That does not need board approval, but for transparency, just want to put that out there. This one does require board approval. This is the Staff Development Center. This one's a little higher because that first line up there, that's going to be the server that controls both facilities. Both facilities will be connected by fiber. So again, this one does require board approval. The 3 quotes that we got range from $81,000. The total of these is $51,000. So this is by far the low quote. And also current customer, they're one of our vendors, controls all of our cameras. The principals can tell you that these cameras that we have now are pretty amazing. And what we'll be putting in these 2 facilities.
So this is not only the low quote, but it's the same technology that we're utilizing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Let's go ahead and go to your approval memo. Give us the details there, Mr. Tanner.
Same thing there. Again, this is only for the Staff Development Center. It's $28,254.50. It does require board approval. This will be paid for out of SPLOST funds. The 23 for the transportation, it does not need board approval, but again, just put it out there for you. Everything we're doing, we're trying to keep those 2 facilities separate, and because they do have a different SPLOST account with those.
Yeah, make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Can the chair have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tanner. All right. Mr. Wood, got some CTA equipment to salvage.
Good evening once again. Come to you with this item here to look into salvaging this piece of equipment. And this is a horizontal air compressor. This is a different horizontal air compressor than last month at the board meeting. And in compliance with our admin reg, this item has surpassed its intended usage and life expectancy. It is unsafe, not functional, and no longer in service. So with that said, just asking this item to be approved as salvage.
Thanks, Mr. Root. Make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Can the chair have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Thank you, Mr. Root. All right, and we have financial report. Ms. Wynn.
Good evening,
Good
Board.
evening, welcome back.
So we have our October 31st statement for our general fund. We're at 33.33% complete for the fiscal year. Our local revenue is at 11.44% of our budget compared to 14.54 from the prior year. Total revenue is 19.66. Compared to the prior year, we were at 21.95. Our total expenditures are at 30.27% of our budget compared to 29.58 of the budget. Our total encumbrances are 17,954, and we have our capital projects for our 4 months, and we have 36,000 encumbrances for those. And then we have our special revenues for the 4 months and 95,000 encumbrances total, and then school nutrition. And school nutrition has 24,000 encumbrances. That presents our statements.
It's a healthy financial report, and I recommend approval, Mr. Chair.
Can the chair have a motion to approve our financial?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Thank you. Ms. Wynn, tell us about SPLOST.
SPLOST. Our SPLOST update is we have $840,363.09, are an all-time record.
That's our highest collection.
Highest collection ever. 17.5% growth from our prior year, from last year. So we've collected, Merry Christmas, we've collected 5.4 million since April.
Yep.
That's amazing. That's truly a blessing right there. Mr. Boyce is right. Merry Christmas. All right, that's presented for information, so no approval is necessary. So let's look at our next. We have our audit report back. Ms. Wynn?
Yes, sir. So if you'll just go on the first one right there. We have received our audit back. This has been our 4th SPLOST audit, which was for June 30th, 2021. And then our SPLOST audit is Georgia Code Section 20-2-491 requires public school systems to obtain continuing performance audits for expenditures of sales tax for capital outlays if the tax generates more than $5 billion. So this is our 4th year in doing that. And what the SPLOST performance audit does, the independent performance audit, it has 3 specific goals, include a goal for ensuring to maximize to the extent possible that the tax funds are expended efficiently and economically so as to ensure that the school district receives maximum benefit for the dollars it collects, provides for issuance of periodic reports not less than once annually with respect to the extent of which those tax funds are expended efficiently and economically as described in item number 1, and provide for issuance of periodic public recommendations not less than annually for improvement in meeting the goals specified in item 1. And so our audit, as both done based on the referendum and the 2014 SPLOST resolution for the Fannin County Board of Education, is to impose and levy those which we've done. Continue on, Mr. Hensley. And our Malden Jenkins was engaged to conduct this performance audit of the SPLOST program. The audit focused on the school district's compliance with state and local laws and the mandates and receipts and expenditures of the sales tax proceeds for allowable SPLOST education purposes. The audit covers the Progress SPLOST program from July 1, 2020 through June 30th, 2021. From a listing of disbursements made during the specified time period, Malden Jenkins tested a sample of the SPLOST expenditures totaling $17,209,398, or 85.8% of the total disbursements for the audit period. And based on the results of their audit, they conclude that the Fannin County School District SPLOST program is operating in compliance with all applicable laws and regulations, referendum approved by the county citizens, and the industry's best practice. And we have a detailed performance audit report that actually details out all the 8 audit objectives and all the procedures that are applied, that goes through all those that we've got in there. And the audit report is based solely for the management of the Fannin County Board of Education. Any questions? And then we do have the other 2 attachments. One there is the complete audit report, which is 10 pages. If anyone at some point in time would like to sit down and read all of it, maybe just for bedtime. But it is there for, it goes through risk assessment, it goes through all of them, and then Schedule 8 is published on our website. It was also published in our newspaper on November the 17th. That is our SPLOST schedule, and it's required to be published on the website and in the newspaper yearly.
I just want to congratulate you on a good, clean audit, Ms. Wynn. It's comforting and it inspires confidence to know that our processes and procedures are strong to protect that use of that funding. Not only are we having these collection records, but our use of those funds is good. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Wynn. Mr. Chair, I recommend executive session purposes of real estate, personnel, and student information.
Good. Chair, have a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
hard to see with all the stuff on it. Anything out of place.
While in executive session, no action was taken. But I do have a statement here to read. We did our superintendent's evaluation in executive session, and it says, while in executive session, the board reviewed Superintendent Michael Gwatney's evaluation. Dr. Gwatney has received the highest possible marks in all the performance standard categories and exceeded expectation on all standards. That was what we give him as his evaluation. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved. You have a second?
All in favor? Okay, and we do need to approve our minutes from our last executive session of November 11th, 2021. So at this time, I ask for a motion to approve those minutes.
Motion to approve.
You have a second?
All in favor? Turn the floor over to you, Dr. Gall.
Okay, thank you, sir. Item number 21, approve revision to board policy JBCB. Ms. Wrigley?
Good evening again, board. Tonight I come to you with policy JBCB, which has been laying on the table for the last month. Of course, this is the policy that provides guidance about non-resident students. We have asked for a change to this policy so that students who were lawfully enrolled in our school system and then moved out of district, if they met certain guidelines, that they would be allowed to stay in the district. Those guidelines would include things such as meeting with the school to discuss what's in the educational best interest of the child, maintaining excellent attendance with few, if any, unexcused absences or tardies, and no referrals to AST. The student must maintain passing grades in classes each semester, and also that they must follow the code of conduct and not be referred to a disciplinary tribunal. So in addition to meeting all of those guidelines, the family would also have to agree to provide their student transportation to the school system. So as I mentioned, this has been on the table for the last month, open for public comment. We have received no comments. And so this evening, I would like to ask for you to take action on this policy and make these changes to policy JBCB for non-resident students.
Okay, Mr. Chair, that's my recommendation to approve as presented.
Can the chair have a motion to approve policy JBCB?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wrigley. Okay, the next item is the superintendent's evaluation. Mr. Chair read the statement, and so I'd like to thank the board for that evaluation. Number 23 is to appoint school board attorney, and I'd like to recommend Lynn Doss as continued service as board attorney for the 2022 calendar year. Make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Chair, have a motion for Lynn Doss to be school
I would
board
like to
attorney.
make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Okay, thank you, and congratulations, Ms. Doss.
It's approved.
And we will go now to the personnel sheet dated 12/16/21. I'll give you just a second to open that up and find it. Everybody ready to go?
Ms. Miller, if we go too fast, just nod.
Oh, well.
We get kind of a cadence going.
We do.
Okay, everybody ready? All right. We have one recension, and this is Tracy Writings, paraprofessional, effective date 11/17/21. Make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Just a second. The chair have a
So moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Okay. We have resignations. Vicki Garland, substitute nutrition, effective date 12/1/21. Make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Chair have that motion.
So moved.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Okay, and then Cindy Crowder from nutrition, effective date 12/3/21. Make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
You
Okay.
seconded it on the resignation,
I did.
please. Thank you, Bobby.
All right, and then resignation of Sage Kafsky, paraprofessional, effective date 12/31/21. Make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Can chair have that motion?
So moved.
You have a second?
All in favor?
Okay, thank you. We have recommendations. All of these are pending completion of paperwork and background check, and all of these share the same effective date of 1/3/2022. Okay, so the first one is Angela Ushery, teacher. Make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Candy Grilling, paraprofessional, make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Chair have that motion.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
And Penelope Penny Bradburn, school nutrition, make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Chair have that motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
And Trudy Smith as a counselor, make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Chair have that motion.
So moved. You have a second?
All in favor?
Okay, thank you. And again, all those were effective date 1/3/2022. We have a recommendation of substitute teacher pending completion of paperwork and background check and training. Christy Greason, make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Chair have that motion.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Just choose one.
Take the pick.
Yeah.
Who was the second? Thank you.
Mr. Cole.
Let's go,
He was.
2 seconds.
I've already got it written down.
All right, and that was Christy Greason, correct? Okay, so, and we took a vote. Okay, so our next one, recommendation substitute nutrition department pending completion of paperwork, background check, and training. Casey Cook, make that recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Chair have that motion.
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor?
There we go. Got it?
Got it.
All right, good job, Ms. Miller. Ms. Williams, be proud of you. It's good.
Well, we'll see. She's got to read it.
All right. So number 25, comments this evening, board. I'd like to just, that band, starting that off with the music was really nice. And our band is incredible. Just watching them at the recent Christmas parade in town and the Veterans Day programs and the Veterans Day program out in the park. Just tonight's ensemble. It's always great to hear from the Fannin County Band. Had 2 white Christmas programs today, and then there's one more tomorrow. And I'll tell you, it's such a joy to be at the PAC anytime to see the kids perform, but especially after the past year and seeing them come back. There's just this sense that folks are grateful for the opportunity to come back together. And the 2 that went today, Allison, April, y'all's programs were wonderful. They're all different, but they were great, and we're looking forward to. Where's Matt? There's Matt. We're looking forward to yours. It's great to see our students tonight. Just the success that we're seeing with Weldon, with TSA, and the 2 programs working together. I enjoyed seeing that. Our presentations, and we had several tonight. Allison, great job. And Shannon, very nice presentation. Lucas, great job as always. Denver, thank you for your presentation. Darren, I enjoyed your presentation. I know you might pay for some of that later, but did a good job with that. And Susan, well done on your presentation. And also the SPLOST audit. And not only is that a reflection of Susan, but that's a reflection of the entire team, because SPLOST is throughout all of our departments and utilized at the schools to help kids. And we're thankful that the community entrusts us with the SPLOST. And it's nice, and the community should feel reassured to know that those dollars are being used wisely as affirmed by the audit. Board, I want to thank you for my evaluation. It's an honor to serve you, and I appreciate that so much. And congratulations to you on being an exemplary board. You truly are. And it's nice when an external organization recognizes you for your successes, and that's exactly what's happened here, to be recognized by the GSBA as exemplary. Well done. Congratulations to you. To everybody else out there, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Have any volunteers?
I want to go last. I went first last time. I want to go last.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I hope those young men that built the electric car, I hope they're future teachers in Fannin County. That's extremely impressive to me from my background. That's awesome. To be talented in so many different arenas is something else for young folks. I bet they can change their own tire or change their own oil. Next, Merry Christmas. May the good Lord bless you and keep you and take a real good liking to you.
Well, I'm wrapping up 3 years, so I'm the junior of all these guys, veterans, and I couldn't be more happy to be a part of it. I guess outside looking in, your perception is one way, but when you get here, you get where the rubber meets the road. You really get to see what's going on, and I'm honored to work with some guys that some other people may not get to see their heart, because they put their heart into this place, as well as our superintendent. And I'm so proud to work with you. More importantly, I'm glad that you're my friend. And but I look across through here and I see all these faces that I bonded with, get to know, teachers I get to know, talk to, see what they like, what they don't like, what they do to get their kids to learn. I had one of those in Tommy Cole. Just I think back and I talk about him a lot because he really did put into me what I'm doing right now, and I'm very thankful. But we have many of those, Miss York, that I see along with these principals that I see their heart, and I'm overwhelmed and honored to be here for 3 years, and I have plans for more, so we'll see how that goes. And we have a great school system, and again, I say it almost every time, but it's my family. I see family in all of them, including Miss Doss, and she helps us out quite a bit, and so I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for this Christmas time, and I appreciate y'all. I hope you have a Merry Christmas.
It is an honor to be a part of this system. And I agree with my colleague, Mr. Cole. We are a family. And that's the way I perceive each and every one of you. I'm so thankful for you. Excellent reports tonight all the way around. I have to tell you that seeing those successful students here is like a farmer watching a crop come to fruition. I mean, it truly is gratifying to get to see and experience the success that our students are enjoying. And thinking back just a short time ago, they didn't have the opportunity to participate in welding classes. I observed some of those programs in other places, and kids were lining up just to have the opportunity to try their hand at welding. It's just remarkable. We're seeing successes throughout the system. So thankful for each one of you. I hope that over the holiday season you'll have time to catch your breath and hug your loved ones and tell them you love them. I'm thankful for each and every one of you. I'm thankful for these members of this board. They could not have been more supportive in my recent journey, and I just thank them, and I'm blessed to be a part of this. As far as our superintendent's concerned, his influence has permeated our entire system, and I have observed it, and we are blessed. So thank you, Dr. Gwatney, for your influence. Merry Christmas.
I'm lying.
I'll definitely say thank you, and I wouldn't add nothing to anything that they've said. It's been said before, it is a family. This is a wonderful family. Proud to be a part of it. As far as your evaluation, it was simply easy. To me, there wasn't words on it enough to give you how I feel about it. I feel like you do a great job, sir. So, and I agree with Mr. Brown that you can see it throughout the system. Just a part of you and everything that's each one of y'all. You can see a part of Dr. Gwatney, and it's amazing to watch. To sit on this side and to see how well y'all work together and work as a family is amazing. I mean, it's great to be part of it. I'm very thankful, and I'll say Merry Christmas and I love all of you. Go ahead, Mr. Mayor.
So it's my turn then.
It's your turn.
Well, I'm going to show you something first. Coming from a welding class, I was handed this, and I'll treasure this till I'm 6 foot under.
And all of us got something, if they want to show you what they got. All of us got something that has to do with my previous location. Not the one now, but my previous. So, the reason I'm going last this time is, and before I say anything else, Miss York, we used to have a lady in here, her name was Sarah Welch, wasn't it?
Yes.
And she liked Diet Mountain Dew. If you drink one of those before you come in here, you'd be another Sarah Welch. And I like that. And the reason I wanted to go last this time is, I received a call from a person after our last board meeting. They said, I really enjoyed your enthusiasm. Well, let me tell you something. Sitting where I'm sitting tonight, and you see all the things that's happening in our school, I need to be enthusiastic. It's great. It's great. You know, and I've been here all my life, except 3 years in the Army. I'll be 6 foot under when I'll be right where I'm at when I'm 6 foot under. And I love this school. I love this county. And I love this man over here who's head of this unit, doing a tremendous job. These guys here beside of me, doing a tremendous job. All of you out there, doing a tremendous job. The teenager over there, she mentioned me tonight for the yellow jacket. Anyhow, I told Mr. Young I got to do a project for him. Mr. Price, I'm thinking about your project. And I'm thinking about a project for you, Mr. Ramsey. I want to do a project before I'm 6 foot under for each one of the schools. So I'm going to have to get busy. Anyhow, I love all of you. I love everybody here. And just thank the Lord for you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And if I can ever help you. And Tracy, good to see you, son. Good to see you. And I hope your wife's doing great. Anyhow, I'm done. Thank you.
You sure?
Yep.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Thank everybody for all of our things up here for Christmas present, whatever. Motion to adjourn.
No, you sure you're through?
Yep.
Second. All in favor?
Hallelujah.